What's going on, man? Welcome back to the basement. I am bringing you this video in maybe my most grimy, most greasy state possible. It is like, I think 2 p.m. now. I haven't showered yet. No, it's 3 p.m. Haven't showered yet. I usually shower every morning, but we had a tree, like fall down in the front yard. Had to help these mover guys out with it. Had to put together this outline that we're going to be going over here in a second. Today, we're going to get into my week 2 trade targets. We're going to go over 3 players I'm looking to sell and 3 players I'm looking to buy in fantasy football. Let's get straight into these trade targets. Let's go.
Thirsty, trying to choose. I know I'm critical. My nitty
The first trade target we have on this list is actually a group of players. I'm saying buy all the Packers. All of the Packers. I know they just lost to the Saints 38-3, and it's kind of wild for me to say, but I'm just not that concerned. Like, I don't really care that much. I'm not really spooked off of any of these guys, and I'm pretty much throwing away the whole stat sheet. We had Jordan Love and the backups come in with like 11 minutes to go in the game. So any, snaps or usage, we can throw it out the window. Kylan Hill, Amari Rodgers, somebody named Malik Taylor even got meaningful snaps. So it's hard to really have any concrete takeaways besides the fact that teams have games like this sometimes. I remember this from last year. The Bucs got absolutely murdered. Same score, too, by the Saints, 38-3 on a primetime game back in November, and then they go on to win a Super Bowl. Good teams like this, like the Packers, they'll have their down games where they just don't show up, and that's not anything too crazy to happen in a Week 1 matchup, and I think they turn things around. Whether that's, I'm not saying they're going to go out there and win a Super Bowl, but I'm still buying Aaron Rodgers, I'm buying Aaron Jones, I'm buying Javonte Adams, especially with their matchup coming into Week 2. They're playing against the Lions. We just saw Elijah Mitchell and Deebo Samuel run absolutely crazy on those boys. The Packers are going to beat up on the Lions. They're going to take all their frustrations out from losing and just getting absolutely embarrassed this week. They're going to take all of their frustrations out on the Lions. The Lions just got Jeff Okudah is now on IR. He got hurt for a bunch of weeks. They have nobody to defend the Davante Adams, which then opens up the game for Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones. And I think that it's going to be an absolute murder. So I'm trying to buy all of those players. If I can, trade away Adam Thielen in a piece for Davante Adams, I'm trying to make moves like that. But yeah, I'm not freaking out on the Packers yet. I'm pretty much buying all of their position players. And so I can cover as many players as possible in this video, I decided to name this section that I'm buying disappointing bell cows. Everyone can pick their favorite bell cow for you to target. Everyone's going to write up their piece on Ezekiel Elliott, on Najee Harris. So I figured, why not include all of these guys? You guys can pick whatever flavor you want, but the best way to buy a bell cow is to look at their opportunity shares versus their point output and buy the players that got the volume but didn't see the efficiency. And the ones that stand out to me from this list are Najee Harris, CEH, and Antonio Gibson. I'd be sending out offers for all 3. I'm trying to get a discount, for if I can get any kind of discount on what they went for in draft season. So say, Najee Harris went in the early second. If you can get him around, a late second, early third price, that's what I'd be looking for. And when we talk about Najee Harris, this is a guy who saw a 100% snap share, 100% opportunity share. In the NFL, that doesn't happen, never mind as a rookie. We don't even see that from Christian McCaffrey, a 100% opportunity share. And I just want to say, I had him in the same range as a Joe Mixon, as a CEH, as a back-end round 2 guy. Even though I said I was fading him, I was because of the price. But I think now you can actually buy him at the price that I had him. I think you can buy him for a similar price of a back-end round 2 running back. I haven't budged on my stance on him. I still value him as a back-end round 2 guy. So I would actually be buying Najee Harris. And he now sees a friendlier matchup with the Raiders this week. He's probably going to run all over them, and this is going to be where Najee Harris could potentially break out. So you can buy low in this nice little window we have here heading into Week 2. And I want to say CEH, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, also qualifies as one of these guys. He saw his 94.4% target share or opportunity share. Yeah, he only scored 10.2 PPR points. And if we can get a 90% opportunity share on the Chiefs offense, that's something we need to be chasing. Whether he had 10 points, he had 2 points, he had 17 points, a 90% opportunity share on the Chiefs offense is a valuable asset to have, especially after we saw what CEH did last year. He only had a 66% opportunity share. So if he is now going to be earning a 90% plus opportunity share, maybe that's going to go down to like an 85. It'll settle around there. But they've made it clear that CEH is going to be their bell cow. And when we have that kind of commitment, that kind of info from the team now, I'm very interested in Clyde Edwards-Helaire as a buy low running back. And the last one is the guy that I'm most excited for, Antonio Gibson. I'm going to be very aggressive in targeting Antonio Gibson. He saw an 89% opportunity share with 5 targets. And that's all we wanted. That was the entire argument we had for Antonio Gibson going into the season. We knew Antonio Gibson is this star level running back. He's very good. He's super athletic. He's explosive. The problem is that he just didn't see the opportunities we wanted him to. He was a wide receiver in college and they weren't giving him those targets. He only saw a 47% opportunity share and 3.1 targets per game last year. So now if he's going to get, cranked all the way up to almost a 90% opportunity share with around 5 targets per game, we're talking about an absolute bell cow in an explosive build like Antonio Gibson. Antonio Gibson is as explosive as they come. He runs like a 4.4. He's built. He already has played wide receiver in his past. He has everything that he ever needed besides the volume, and we've gotten the indication that he has the volume now. I would actually be moving Antonio Gibson up from where I had him preseason. So I'm going to be very aggressive in targeting him. Please go out and send offers for Antonio Gibson. And our last buy on the list is going to be Saquon Barkley. And I get the disappointment with Saquon. In week 1, he only saw 48% of the snaps. He only saw 13 touches. He was a dud. He only scored 3.2 points. Here's the problem, though. The problem is that if you were the kind of guy to panic on Saquon Barkley after what he did last week, you should have never taken him. This is what we were sold. This is what we paid for. We got a discount. If Saquon didn't have an injury, if he wasn't going to be, rumored limited in week 1, he would have been the consensus 4th overall pick. You paid that discount. You probably got him at the back end of the 1st or the early 2nd. That was a discount we paid. We know what we got ourselves into. We knew what we were signing up for. Limited workloads, frustrating early weeks. It's to, eventually have week 4, week 5 where we have a full-on Saquon and you toughed it out until then. Now, if you have a bozo in your league who didn't read the fine print when he signed up to draft Saquon Barkley, go grab him. Saquon probably posts another dud this week, so you have a little bit more time to buy him if you want to. He has a tough matchup against Washington on Thursday night. This Washington defense is very good. It's going to be a short week for Saquon. He probably posts another dud, so you can either buy him now or buy him next week. I will say it's going to be a little bit tougher to buy him after the Washington game because sometimes smart owners will look ahead and they'll see the Atlanta matchup and they're going to want to see Saquon against that soft defense. So if you can buy him and, take that dud he's going to post this week on the chin, I think you're better for it. Because I think in week 3 against Atlanta, that's when it's going to be wheels up for Saquon Barkley. Now we have my sells. And as a Jets fan, this one pains me. We have Robby Anderson. He finally has, his connection with Sam Darnold over there on the Panthers, and I'm happy to see them balling. But after Robby Anderson scored 12.2 fantasy points this week on one huge highlight play, I'd be looking to sell him if somebody out there, isn't really looking too close on the box score. I'm pretty spooked by his usage. He only had 3 targets, a catch, 57 yards. Terrace Marshall was very involved only on week 1. We know these rookies get more run as the season goes on. He already had 6 targets, doubling Robby Anderson's targets. Now, he didn't have as many snaps as Robby Anderson, but he's going to eat into that as the season goes on. And the reason I was even buying or was interested in Robby Anderson was the role that he had last year. Robby's known as, the situational deep threat guy, but last year he was a legit wide receiver. He had a 26% target share. He had a 9.8 average depth of target, one of the only times he's ever had an average depth of target before the first down marker. He was built in this, main X wide receiver type role for the Panthers last year. And I'm kind of thinking he's reverting back to that deep threat role that we know him and love him as. DJ Moore operated as this target hog wide receiver, X wide receiver this week. And Robby Anderson reverted back to that specialist role, of being a deep threat. He only saw an 8.6% target share and had an average depth of target of 30 yards. Now, obviously, that's not sustainable. That's going to come down to, 15, 16 yards as an average depth of target, but he is no longer operating as this target hog, intermediate guy. He is going to be the deep threat. I think that kind of makes sense because that's what Sam Darnold is used to him being, a deep threat. And that's how he was used in New York with Darnold. So it kind of makes sense that shift happened. I wish I kind of saw it coming. And for me personally, I'm going to be trying to move on. I have him in a couple places. If I can turn his one catch for 57 yards and a touchdown into, somebody that is a top 24 to 36 wide receiver, anybody in that wide receiver 3 range, I would be doing that. And maybe my favorite sell of the week is Melvin Gordon. I'm loving the victory laps. People in my comments, I've seen people on Twitter, everybody is victory lapping Melvin Gordon. Oh man, he looks so good. He had 118 yards, a touchdown. He had 19.3 points, and respect. But when we dig a little bit deeper, it's not as crazy as we think. He only had 14 touches. He got there on a 70-yard rushing touchdown. Without that one rushing touchdown, he has 13 touches for 48 yards. Nothing crazy. Under 4 yards per touch. And I'd be looking to capitalize on that big run because his box score stats look better than what he actually did. Melvin Gordon only saw 14 touches, and what's crazy is Javonte Williams out-touched him. Javonte Williams had 15 touches to Melvin Gordon's 14, and it's only week 1. Remember, these rookie running backs, wide receivers, they see more touches, more production as the year goes on, and if their baseline is a 50-50 split, this is actually kind of big for Javonte Williams because we could see him have like a 65% opportunity share by, week 6, week 7, week 8. I'd be looking to sell Melvin Gordon because of this. I'm going to be looking to buy as much Javonte Williams as I can. As the season goes on, they're going to diverge. You're going to see Melvin Gordon go down and down and down. You're going to see Javonte Williams go up and up and up. If you can capitalize on that 70-yard touchdown, I'm telling you, please do it. If you can get RB2 kind of value for it, please do that. The last guy on this list is going to be Josh Jacobs. I'd be looking to sell him as soon as possible. He had 16.5 points on the back of 2 rushing touchdowns. Without it, he would have had 4.5 PPR points, which is insane. He only had 40 yards on 11 touches. He was inefficient. He also had this injury that was nagging him. He was on the sideline dealing with some kind of injury all the time. They weren't sure if he was going to go back into the game. So if anybody out there was just watching the box score and not the game, and they saw 16.5 points and they want to jump on that, please send Josh Jacobs to that person. He almost split snaps with Kenyon Drake. This is going to be damn near a committee all season. He only had 12 touches to Drake's 11 touches. They're going to be in game scripts like this where it's a hectic game. They're down, they're up. This is classic, Raiders football. They're not going to be a team that, sits on leads and plays into the game script of a Josh Jacobs. And for me, Josh Jacobs is a back-end RB2 that's going to live solely on touchdowns, and for that, I'd be pivoting as soon as possible. Now, that's going to do it for us today. I'm going to be dropping one of these videos every single week where I go over my favorite trade targets, my top 3 buys, my top 3 sells. If you guys like this format, let me know. I can, split this up into a buy video and a sell video, but I figured that this is a clean way to do it, so we don't have to sacrifice any other video throughout the week. Now, as always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you go down below, subscribe, leave a like. I'm going to go run to the shower. So as always, I love you guys. Follow me at @RonSword_ on Twitter. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
Cause it's so crisp. The most broke is gold stockbroker when I solstice. I could win an Oscar. Russian accent, horse Acid addict, cross the